when we started seeing organic sales coming in without any marketing spend and from people that weren't our friends, it was like 100% people I didn't know. Then I knew, if I can reach 100 customers, what can I do with funding? My name is Daniela, and I'm the CEO and founder of Yoppie, a femtech company I founded back in 2016.
Perfect. So how did you come to found this company? How did you spot there's a need in the market, and how did you get this going?
I think I've always been, and this sounds like so cliche when I'm saying it, but very kind of entrepreneurial, by the sense that every time when I see a problem or something I could turn into like a commercial idea, I've always been like, can we do this into an app, or can we start selling these things? But I've never kind of pursued an idea longer than just speaking about it. But back in 2016, I had a power walk with a close friend of mine. If we would start a business, what would it be? And she said to me, have you ever thought about never having period products at home, yet we're getting it on a monthly basis or on a quite regular cadence? And I was like, yeah. And then during that walk, we started like researching and realized, and back in 2016, it was also like the rise of subscription boxes in the US. $1 Million Shave Club had just been acquired for $1 billion by Unilever. And we thought like, okay, how come no one had turned like a female product into a subscription model? And from there, I just I'm very naive, crazy, but like started speaking about it, starting writing that business plan. The more people I spoke to about it with, the more the feedback was, yes, this is a great idea. And also when we realized that most of the brands in the market, or the brands I've been using all my life, was filled with harsh chemicals, materials that are not suited to be kind of absorbent. They're very absorbent. Many of the pads on the market today are filled or predominantly made of plastic, which we know is not good either for the planet or for our bodies. So that was kind of the biggest problem that we wanted to solve. We wanted to make it super convenient for women to access great quality organic products. So we coded our own website. We bought or developed 300,000 of organic tampons and started selling them online.
Wow. And talk to me about the process of setting up a subscription model such as this one. How do you get to the critical mass where it actually really works? And at what point do you think, you know what, this really works and we can make a business of this?
I still don't think we are at that point, because I think it takes a long time before you even start kind of trusting your own business. But to me, I mean, it was when we, first of all, we launched with like no plan. We didn't have funding enough for marketing. We put all the funds we had into making like a small commercial video explaining what we wanted to do. And we just, published it on Facebook, on like in our own network. And when we started seeing organic sales coming in without any marketing spend, and from people that weren't our friends, like it was name and postcodes that I didn't recognize. It was names and postcodes to customers that wasn't even from the area where I lived. Like it was like 100% people I didn't know. Then I knew, like, okay, if I can reach 100 customers, what can I do with funding?
And that was the point then that you started to approach investors and look for that funding. Is that right?
Yeah, no, because coming back a bit to my background, I didn't have that. I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't work in a fancy startup before. I didn't know anything about, being agile, or the only thing I knew was I've read the lean startups. Everything was about building a minimum viable product. I also understood that, to be able to scale, to be able to build a brand, you need funding. And because I didn't have the proper business background, to me, it took, a couple of months, even a year, to just build out confidence in, writing a business plan, creating a pitch deck, learning about fundraising. Where do you start? So that, to me, kind of time took me approximately, I would say, 12 to 2 years before we did our first family and friends round. And that is thanks to the fact that we were based in the UK. There, SCIS, there are so many good incentives to actually, getting funding from family and friends to invest in startups. So we used SCIS, raised our first kind of external capital, which kind of helped me to continue building the brand, develop the website. But then in 2019, my all confidence was gone. I was like, okay, I was all by myself. And I kind of gave up on the whole thing a bit. But then I got a phone call from a VC who said, "Hi, I've heard you're doing this. We're super interested in the space." And I was pregnant at the time. So I kind of hid my baby bump. I dusted off an old business plan and like, okay, is it one pitch I'm going to do? Is this pitch? And yeah, he confirmed, and he gave me a decent kind of seed investment, which gave me the possibility to kind of move Yoppie from my kitchen table to, becoming a real kind of startup with being able to hire people, being able to hire people who knows everything about operations and supply chain, but also understanding performance marketing and how do you actually take it from 200 customers that I had at a time. How do we actually scale it from 200 customers to 200,000 customers?
Absolutely. And it's an exciting time being able to bring the initial team on board. So tell me a bit about that process. How did you make sure you brought in the right people to really make this a success?
I think for me, it's always been like, if they are excited about my vision, if they are excited about the problem I'm solving, that is kind of the first gatekeeper. Also coming back to their values, like, why do you want to why do you want to join a startup that doesn't, we don't have 3 years of runway. We can't promise you that this will last forever, but we can promise you a hell of a ride, like you will learn a lot. So it's, to me, recruitment always comes down to, do we align our beliefs? Do we align on our values? And then always hiring people that comes to the table with something that I don't have. And most of the people are so much better than me. So I've always recruited the things I can't do myself.
And what's that done to your role? So obviously day one, you're doing absolutely everything. What does your role look like today?
So I guess I'm still kind of the founder. I've still kind of in charge of the vision. I'm still kind of the creative lead in the things we're doing. But then I have a team who can execute it much better than I've possibly could done, and in a faster way. I love, I own people. I work with our culture. Sure, the team are happy. Which markets should we scale to into next? Which products should we include? And thanks to the funding, I've been lucky enough to kind of recruit like a founding team member, our CCO. So he is kind of the numbers guy and the framework, and he's like putting all my crazy ideas into like, is this possible? Is this doable? So I think and that is super important. That why, and this was also the feedback a lot when I was pitching and meeting investors or other peers in the market, or other startup funders, is like the founding team is so critical. And that was also the feedback from the VC who then invested. Like, we're giving you this term sheet, but it is based that you need to find these two people. And I found them, through LinkedIn, or people that have been kind of applying for job, because people always thought Yoppie was like much bigger than it was. Like, if I would tell them like it's me responding from my kitchen table, they would most likely didn't want to apply for the role. But
Amazing. And what's next for the business then? What are the big goals for the next year or so?
so for us, it's international expansion. We want to prove that our proposition works in other markets. We are developing and making our tech much better, putting much more focus on the digital experience, and then getting ready for Series A. We believe Yoppie is the femtech brand to back, and what we want to do in the future requires funding, and I'm gonna make sure we can, as a woman and as a single founder or female founder, I'm gonna try to change, the statistics, and getting those bigger checks, and so Series A later this year.
Amazing. So what do you have to do as a business owner to get to Series A? What are some of the milestones you think you have to hit in order to be ready for that?
You need to demonstrate that you have a strong proposition, that you have a clear strategy on what you're doing. You need to have product market fit. You need to show that it is or can be a profitable business. You can acquire a customer. For us, we are a subscription business. So for us, retention is super important. We need to prove that our customers that we do acquire stays, and that our customers that are staying with us also recommend our product. They can refer friends. So yeah.
Amazing. And you mentioned that you're looking to expand into new markets as well. So obviously something that's on the mind of a lot of founders within our network. What is your strategy there? How do you pick which markets you should look into next?
So, and this is coming back to how me and my amazing CCO and how the team works. I kind of pick markets from a gut feel, where I see that the consumer, the culture, the behaviors are very similar. Obviously, if there are a gap in the market, do we have competitors in that market? But then we also come back to, we do a basic spreadsheet. We score. We have parameters where we score on, language, size of the market, currency, everything that is kind of scoreable or important for our business to scale and launch it efficiently. And then it's just like the country or the city who has the highest scores. That's where we go.
Oh, amazing. So for those watching then, where can they find out more about both yourself and the business?
So they can find more information about Yoppie on our website, which is yoppie.com. If they want to connect with me or learn more about me, I don't know if there's so much more to learn about me, but I'm on LinkedIn as Daniela Perry. I'm also quite social on Instagram, trying to be as normal and honest and authentic. I tend to share about the harsh reality of being, there are days where, everything sucks, and there are days where Yoppie is amazing. So they can find me there too.